Hey everyone, I'm Egoqueenalexis and welcome back to the channel. And welcome back to the Queen's Court. Just so I can give everybody a heads up, I am not feeling 100% and I'm still getting over a cold, so if I sound weird, I do apologize. But with a recap, let's turn over to Viggy, the GM.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I am Viggy the GM, and welcome back to the Queen's Court. When we last left our heroes, leaving the Kroot war sphere, the Warband set out to meet with the incoming landing craft and to create a viable landing zone for it. Farnov, Lynn, and Abraxas took one last look around the war sphere to make sure they didn't miss anything vital. While most of the equipment had long since been removed from the war sphere's interior, Lynn was able to find a mysterious pistol that you couldn't identify, but it did put a hole through the bulkhead wall, so along it came. When the trio exited the war sphere, a vibration in the ground alerted them of an incoming threat, when a gigantic arthropod burst from the cave floor. Running for their lives, they narrowly escaped the massive creature's maw and regrouped with the rest of the warband. All guns opened fire on the pursuing arthropod, tearing chunks out of its alien physiology, with the exception of Abraxas, who leapt on top of the creature's back, ripping it to pieces with his agonizer. Felling it in short order, Rosalina offered the kill as repayment to the Kroot, who accepted it after brief inspection. Moving with haste, Tarvok set up the remainder of his demolition kit, with some extra insurance thrown in for good measure from his ammunition stockpile. Clearing a sizable chunk of the jungle, Captain Sinclair contacted them shortly after and dispatched his Valkyrie dropships to rendezvous with the warband. The armsmen were somewhat hesitant to bring the Xenos Tau on board, but Rosalina ordered them to stand down. Once aboard the Tempest-class frigate, the Purity of Purpose, the warband was finally able to relax after going on for what seemed for forever. Completing its patrol route, the Purity of Purpose docked in one of the orbital platforms above Juno, the capital world of the Ascalon sector, where the warband disembarked to charter another vessel to Aventine. Tarvok took the opportunity to meet with the Quorum Primus, the Council of Mechanicus representatives from the 5 major forge worlds across Ascalon. This meeting did not go as Tarvok had anticipated, feeling a mix of elation and bitterness at being promoted to Magos Explorator and granted a recently refitted and repaired Mechanicus cruiser named the Protector, but stripped of his ground-based holdings on Desolium. The warband boarded the Protector and crossed into the warp, headed for Aventine. Upon reaching Aventine, Tarvok scanned the signature of the Oath Unspoken in orbit and hailed Lord Captain Aristide, informing him of the warband's current status. Descending onto the surface of Aventine, the warband made their way to Farnov's Manor, where this whole debacle started, only to find a grizzled lawman and his faithful beast waiting for them. He introduced himself as Chastener J.M. Werner, one of Hunt's acolytes. Rosalina embraced Risa, whom she had missed terribly.
Okay, so now that we're
we
in,
return.
I'm gonna look over towards Volric and nod my head to him and give him the sign of the Aquila.
He returns it.
And I'm just gonna say, thank you for protecting her.
Oh, it was most easy. She is a very well-behaved child.
As expected. And I'm just gonna pat Riza on the head. You. Who are you?
Taking a small bow, he says, Chestnut Jericho Werner, acolyte of Lord Hunt, our shared advisor and mentor.
She's gonna walk up and look down at your mechanical beast. Is it more mechanical than actual animal?
Correct.
Now, John, I'm gonna ask you a question that I think you'll actually understand. Upon looking at me, does the dog sneeze?
It does.
I'm gonna start petting the animal.
Clementine, as he looks over and watches this, says, Interesting. Clementine's not awfully fond of strangers often, but when she is, I know I can generally give them confidence.
This beast has seen some battles. It shows scars, tearing. How long have you known Hunt?
Oh, I've been working with the Lord Inquisitor for about 30 years going on soon.
Longer than my service to him. And I'm gonna show you the side of the rosette.
Yes. He speaks very highly of you. It is actually my duly pleasure to make your acquaintance, Interrogator Rosalina Lockwood.
And she's gonna offer her arm out to you in a warrior's greeting.
The hand that he offers is mechanical in nature, although it does not extend throughout the entire arm, and he will clasp your arm as well. Strong grip. Not a slouch in combat, so I've been told. I hope to see if the stories hold true with my own eyes.
Oh, and what stories are those?
Word through the pipeline is that your fighting style accommodates that of a dancer. They say that you do not wage war as much as you put on a performance.
Oh, that I assure you is true. Do you have any news of our master?
Hunt himself's hand. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, you do in fact have a data slate in your possession, which is gene-locked to Rosalina.
He, pulling out you hear the clasping of a leather strap as he pulls out the data slate and says, "He locked this one up tight just for you. You know how he is. He don't trust nobody with nothing."
If that isn't true, I don't know what is. She'll take it and take a couple of steps away. I'll slightly cut my finger to put the blood on the data slate so it can open. Victor?
Yes?
Did you hear it?
Yeah. You could have just, spit on it, but, details.
That's not
disgusting.
Classy,
yeah, but you cut yourself.
She put a tiny hole from her... Actually, you know what? I'll do this. She'll pull out her sword and prick her finger with it and put a tiny dot of blood on the data slate sensor.
Yeah, alright. So, the data slate opens up and reams of data start spooling through. You find that the data appears to be navigational in nature. It seems to be for navigational hololith. So if you were able to plug that in somewhere, you might be able to see where you're going.
Can I, okay, this is a dumb question, but is that the only information on here?
You can attempt to look through it with an inquiry test against your intelligence.
Oh, that's fellowship. Any modifiers?
No modifier. Well done.
If I know
Right.
Hunt, he put more information on this than he lets on.
Well, you are correct. As you scroll through the data, you start finding notes in the margins that speaks of that. Well, what you it's not what you find; it's what you don't find, and that is that line of large chunks of the data seem to be redacted by order of the Inquisition, and it is the encryption, it is the classification that put you off. Vermilion class. For those that don't know, Vermilion level is the highest military encryption in the Imperium.
I'm gonna take a glance over towards her and then look back down at it. Did Hunt leave me something?
At Farnov, did you?
No, I'm saying that to myself, but I looked over at Farnov because she could open it.
Technically she could, yes.
On the risk of being stupid, do I do this? Can I try tech use to try to get around it and into it?
Oh boy. You can try, but it will be difficult.
How difficult we talking?
-20.
Alright, so that would be on a 38. Will this damage it?
Well, that depends entirely on the outcome.
Alright, let's do this.
Well, you didn't fail badly enough. As you attempt to override the encryption level on the data slate, you find that the screen starts to go staticky for a few seconds before powering down.
Damn it, Hunt. And I'm saying this to myself. You know, you could have just left it for me. But I assume this is your way of telling me that you're gonna meet. Very well. And I'm gonna walk past the fence really quickly.
Yeah. This thing, it's kind of impressive that these things are still going, considering how long it's been since Tarvok set them up.
I'm gonna look over towards Inquisitor Farnov. Excuse me. Inquisitor.
Yes?
I assume your place has a hololith display?
I do. It's in the basement.
May I use it?
Of course. Let me accompany you. But first, Abathur, please. And she points at Jacaro. And without another word, the Jacaro walks forward. Werner, would you kindly step out of the way?
Yes, ma'am. Well, come, Time, come on. Dog will fall.
Ulrich takes a step back as well. Lynn might not want to get caught by this.
Right.
Oh, hey Riley.
Yeah, I've returned. Arrived.
Welcome. Farnov says, destroy. And the Jacaro holds out one of its fingers, and a blast of light impacts on the doorway as it crumbles into dust.
Rosalina's gonna look at that really quickly. First in shock, like, holy crap, that just happened. From just a finger.
Yeah, you are reminded of Larician and the Melta-beam that came out of his hand.
Yep. And I'm gonna look almost... if you want to roll for far enough to notice this, I'm gonna look really disappointed.
Sure, I can roll for far enough. Let's see, Inquisition, Denicia, here she is. I'm guessing there's no minus on this?
No.
Yeah, she spots you.
Rosalina's gonna frown for just a fraction of a second as she closes her eyes and turns back around.
Something bothering you?
No. Nothing.
Good.
Let's go.
Farnov is still staring at the heap of rubble that's still on the floor before before escorting you down into the basement.
I have no idea where the basement is, by the way. Can you just...
Don't worry. We'll just stay here. We don't have to move anywhere.
Okay.
I don't actually have the basement level set up. So...
Oh yeah, where's the Tau?
Speaking of which, as you're walking through the basement, you can see the setup that Farnov, that you explored earlier when you were in this manor, with the aliens in stasis. And as you are walking, as you walk past one of these, you can see that a stasis chamber that used to be empty has now been activated, and you can see the Tau inside. Farnov does not pay it one heed.
I assume he volunteered?
Him? Oh, don't worry. I promised him that he could return back to his empire.
You never gave him a date, did you?
Didn't say when. And as far as he is concerned, no time will have passed at all.
That is fair.
So, you walk into a larger room in the basement where all sorts of mechanical equipment has been set up. Well, mechanical and electronic equipment has been set up. And at the center of the floor, there's a circular hololith display. Farnov gives it a kick to the base, and it powers on with a cough. The hololith image, which seems to be a stand-in, seems to show the planet of Aventine from orbit. So, do you have the data spool from the slate?
Yes, here. And she'll open up the data spool, open up the data slate, pull out the spool, and hand it to her.
Farnov inserts the data spool into the hololith display, and the view on the display zooms out for what must be thousands of light years as you see the Ascalon sector pop up. And I'll just move us over here. So, currently, you're over here with, actually, this ship can be removed because Tarvok is about to leave. And as the hololith is able to take in the new data, it zooms in to the Rubicon subsector, to an unnamed planet. Let me see, I need to... Boop.
What do you know of this world?
Hold on, I need to remove that. There you go. Farnov looks at that name and stares at it for a long while. Hunt has a flair for the theatric, shall we say. I know why he's bringing you there. He wants to make a point.
And what is that?
Well, that would be telling, wouldn't it? And she gives a faint smile.
Whether I'm talking to the Xenos or the Inquisition, I never get a straight answer.
Yes, but Hunt is a strange creature when it comes to that. I at least will tell you that I can't say anything. He will probably feed you some fanciful fabrication, to put it politely.
Well, I will make the voyage to the planet.
Yes, and I'll be joining you.
Very well.
It is, after all, the whole point as to why you brought me here. Well, brought me back.
That is true.
This has not happened for a long while. How long has it been? Farnov seems to be talking mostly to herself, but she reveals little else.
Oh, do I want to be a jerk?
Oh boy, this is a bad idea.
Do I want to be a jerk?
It's up to you.
Her willpower is probably astronomical.
You can go ahead and try, if you want. Well, you make it. Let's see, resistant psychic powers, and boom. Interesting.
It is opposed.
It is opposed, and she's gonna spend a fate point.
Do I spend a fate point?
Oof, how far are you willing to go with this? Because she has more fate points than you do.
No, I'm not. Do you want to read her mind, though? I'm good.
Yeah. I'm going to have to do this. Damn, she didn't spot you. You were subtle enough to try and just to skim the surface spots.
Yeah, I got this. And I'm just gonna... Actually, I got another idea.
Oh boy, you gotta calm down here.
I'm just rolling scrutiny.
That's security.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I clicked the wrong one. Here, let's see. Damn it, I clicked security again. So the target's 59.
Still a pass.
Damn. She fails. Does she spend another fate point? Yeah, why not? She's got 5 of them.
God damn it.
Well, she has 5 max. She's down to 3 now. Let's see. Reroll.
Come on, fail.
Nope.
It is opposed.
She makes and beats.
Yeah, she has a higher fellowship, I'm guessing.
Yes. Her fellowship is higher than your perception bonus.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after trying to read her really quickly, I'm going to be stuck at a dead end, so I'm just going to be like, what are you worried about?
I'm worried about Hunt. He's obsessed, you know.
Yes. He's also getting old.
Yes. His rejuvenate will only do so much in the coming years.
Looks at self.
You're not that old. Not
Being
compared to
87.
Not compared to these two, you're not. You're a spry young lamb compared to them.
Well, also keep in mind, Rosalina was in stasis.
Yeah, that too. So she's technically even younger.
Yeah, she's only like, what? I think we agreed that her actual physical age is 37.
Yeah, like it's been 87 years since she was born. That does not reflect relative time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Farnov powers down the hololith and takes the data spool back, handing it to Rosalina. And let's move back here, because we can. Farnov and Rosalina return back to the central room of Farnov's Manor, where the rest of the acolytes, everyone in here is Inquisition.
Even the monkey.
Even the monkey.
Oh yeah, there's
Hey!
also a Jacaro here. Anyway,
so
I'm just going to look at the room and say, gather your things. We are preparing to move.
Where are we heading?
And I'm going to look at Farnov and just say, there's still an incident that happened on your world that needs our attention. You are aware of that, yes?
yes, but I feel that this is more important. Unless, and she looks over at Volric, we subcontract?
Not a bad idea.
He is of the correct order. Volric is leaning up against a pillar, even though you're talking as though he's not there. Volric nods wordlessly.
One man is not going to be enough.
Well, he's not just one man, is he now? He holds the same authority that you do.
Still, I'd feel better if we allocate some of the Planetary Defense Force for this mission.
I'm certain that he will manage. Besides, he can look after my manor while I'm gone.
I certainly hope so. He seems to be able to take care of things. Volric, are you okay with this?
Don't worry. I've been waiting here for what feels like ages. What is another age?
Has the Jericho repaired the Corvus Black Star?
You mean Jokero?
Yes.
Yes. Wait a minute. You don't have the Corvus Black Star here. It's on board the Oath.
No, the Corvus Black Star is crashed here.
Yeah, it crashed there.
Yeah, but Tarvok fixed it.
No, Tarvok got it flying.
Yeah.
It's not here anymore. Well, it's here. That's it. It was outside the portal itself when we walked in, and then we had him go back and get it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. You left it here.
So, do you want to roll a tech use for the Corvus?
No, I can easily say that the Jokero has spent, he's probably has been bored enough to wander outside and fix the Corvus by accident. So yes, I will say that it's been fixed.
Alrighty.
Right, so off we go. I'm actually gonna... Oh wait, no, you will. I don't need to grab the other one. All you have to do is board and...
Actually, wait, as we board, I'm gonna just look around and just say, we don't have another pilot, do we?
You seem fresh out.
Lynn, have you studied this craft before?
I've heard of them. I know their specifications. I know the type of fuel they use, and I know the designs that were used to put them to. But I lack the ability to pilot it.
Do you have what is it actually called? The plug on the back of the neck.
The MIU?
She does not. She has no biological implant, or she has no cybernetic implants.
She's gonna reach to her back of her neck and just say, I'm gonna have to fly this entire thing, aren't I?
Looks
It
that
would
way.
seem that way. Sorry.
It always hurts. Very well. She'll plug herself into the Corvus Black Star, putting the MIU from the Corvus into the back of her neck, connecting it to her nervous system.
She feels the more aggressive machine spirit that is the Corvus.
Do you want me to roll a willpower because this thing is probably angry at me?
Sure. Sure you can. Ooh. Take 1 point of fatigue.
Okay.
You feel the connection
She got
to the
one.
Corvus is slightly traumatic, but she is able to push on through and wrangle the machine spirit under her control.
As
So,
sorry. As
go
I
ahead.
feel the machine spirit fighting me, I'm just gonna put my hand on its dash and just say, Ave Deus Mechanicus. Ave Deus Imperator. Please be at ease.
And with that, you take off back aboard the Oath Unspoken.
Dare I ask why this ship was in such tossed condition before we arrived?
The we were shot out of the sky.
I see. Well, fair enough.
The great enemy has many of weapons to deal with us, which is why we have to use our wits and our drive to push forward.
A big ass gun doesn't hurt either.
No, and this thing has a lot of them. And then she's going to check, and all the weapons, like the weapon loadout on the data slate in front of her, it's just going to say 0, and she's just like, oh no.
That's right, you did empty those out to level that
The
small
entirety
church.
of the building.
Yeah, you did. Oh, Knight, real quick, the name that's showing up on beneath your profile picture.
Yeah.
Can you?
Oh yeah. I gotta update that.
Update it too.
All right.
All right, just a reminder. So, you once again dock in your secret hangar bay, and as you exit the Corvus Black Star's boarding ramp, you can see that Aristide and Thalia are there waiting for you.
As I unplug myself from the Corvus, I'm just going to hold the thing as it slightly bleeds and wipe it off. I'll be gentle next time. And I'm saying that because I damaged this craft, and it's fighting me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to exit first because I'm literally in the pilot's seat.
Who does exit first?
Well, can I ask a question, and just say we asked it during the trip because we were all in the carriage area, right? The transport area.
Yeah, true.
I just wanted to ask. So what's your story, skinny fella? Pointing to Abraxas.
How many times are people going to ask me this?
What can I say? Ain't got no records on you, son.
He just sits for a bit thinking. Long story short, I was enslaved, broke free, enslaved again, bought, freed, and now I'm here.
Feels good, don't it? To be returned to the lawful splendor that is the Imperium.
Well, actually, to be honest, this is my first time.
I'm sorry. That was too funny because you just. Well, actually.
Light, you're amazing. We love you.
Load
Continue.
shotgun with lawful intent.
It's like, well, actually, this is my first time around here.
You a Xenos?
I don't think so.
Well, how the hell? What? How in the grand throne of the Imperium wouldn't you?
You can never be too sure. Not these days.
He's gonna point his finger and say, "Son, I got my eye on you."
Aw, I don't warrant both eyes.
He's gonna whisper something to his dog and say, and then point and say, "I've heard of you. You're Lynn, correct?"
Yes, Lynn Miller. And you are Chastner J.M. Warner.
Please call me Jericho.
Jericho. Yes.
Word around the word around the pipeline is that you're as smart as they come. Quick as a whip too.
I'm also quite attentive, perceptive, and a few other things. And I've heard you've had quite a career.
Well, whether it's working with the Adeptus Arbites or being a spook for the Inquisition, it's all the same. These sinners think that this galaxy belongs to them, and as always, it's been my job to show them the error of their ways.
I've always been abhorred by those who would defile the sacredity of their bodies. Such heresies can't be tolerated.
He smiles. He says, "You know what? I like the cut of your jib."
Space Matt Mercer.
No,
Oh, God.
It's
Great, Chris Christopherson.
yes. It's Space Highwayman.
But he says, and at this point, he'll you see him pull out like a small burlap sack out of his pouch and take some small seed-like delicacies and kind of pop them into his mouth. Yeah. Well, it's a pleasure to meet the both of you.
More the merrier.
Likewise. I'm sure you'll be effective in our missions.
Indeed. And they'll hold out the bag. Lawman seeds, anybody?
Subconsciously you feel Rosalita just look back. Candy? Jokes aside, though.
Yeah. And that was just my piece I wanted to say.
Fair enough.
Everyone
Eat the party
hold.
bit.
We're coming in for landing. Gravitational beams got us.
And, as we return back to the hangar bay scene, who does exit first since Rosalina is unplugging herself?
I'll practice all this strut out.
You are met with a blonde-haired man who's wearing the gold epauletted red coat of a rogue trader. He looks you up and down and says, are you one of Rosalina's?
Yes.
Good. You see, standing next to him, a small black-haired woman. Mope, what is Thalia wearing these days?
Well, I imagine she's starting to get kind of swole, and she's starting to get fit with the life, so it's probably a pretty regal dress outfit. She's probably wearing some pretty nice jewelry now. Definitely probably doesn't look anything like a doctor anymore.
Yeah, that sounds about right. She's starting to look the part. And, let's see, who's next?
I assume the Inquisitor.
I'll follow Farnov.
Yeah, next down the ramp would be Farnov and Lynn. And at this, here, a quick question. Did Tarvok inform Aristide of the Inquisitor who would be joining on board?
Hold on.
I think he did, but I'm not sure I remember.
I will say he did.
Alright, let's say he did. He, Aristide, at the sight of Farnov, says, "Ah, you must be our new passenger." And he holds out his hand and says, "Lord Captain Aristide Ansifor, at your service." Farnov looks at his hand and says, "Inquisitor Denizia Farnov, Ordo Xenos, I heard you had I heard that you traveled with your own sanctioned one." Aristide pulls his hand back and says, "Why, yes, I did. She is unfortunately not with us at the moment." "I see." And she walks past him. Thalia, you notice that as soon as Farnov walks past him, Aristide's shoulders drop just slightly. Seems that the effects of the surprise and fear are very much still in effect when it comes to the Inquisition. And who's next?
Yeah, I reckon that'd be me. So and as he walks out, he finds the closest overhead thing and like takes both hands and smacks it as he leaves.
Interesting. As Werner exits the Corvette's Black Star, you also are faced with the Lord Captain of this ship, and he looks at you and says, by the throne, Rosalina collects these like candies." And, who might you be?
Chesner Jericho Werner from the Provoskan precinct, or what was left of it.
I see. And he holds out, Aristide holds out his hand.
He'll take it, and after he does, he takes off his helmet and kind of puts it over his chest and says, "I heard the news. Congratulations to the both of you."
"Thank you. That is much appreciated." And he nods his head.
And he'll even look to... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Does Thalia reply?
She'll just curtsy politely and smile.
And at this point, he'll actually pull out something. I know I'm manifesting stuff, but he'll actually pull out an extra copy of the like miniature book of law and hand it to him for the little one. It's what I learned to read on.
Yes, the littlest Lex Imperialis.
Oh, that's adorable.
It's nothing but a list of laws and the punishments if you break them.
Our bites actually do carry around a smaller version of the Book of Law, Lex Imperialis.
That is true. And to be fair, every book is a small version of the Lex Imperialis because that thing takes up an entire wing of the Imperial Palace.
Indeed. So he gave them almost like a children's version.
Yeah, it's a pop-up book. No, just kidding.
I gotta be like, "Oh, lovely! What wonderful reading for my kid."
But he just looking at her, he just thinks she's happy to have it, and he says, "Farewell." He will walk off to join the rest of the party.
And after all of the other NPCs and whatever get out, because
in between,
a few of them.
In between the lawman and the next one, Aristide just looks at Thalia and says, "Charming."
And then finally, I will emerge from the vessel, carrying my bag in one hand, my two swords on the side, my knife in my boot that's, you can see, fresh cuts and bruises and all scarred up with tape around them, still bloody. And I'm going to look at those two and just throw the backpack on my back and just say, "It has been a long, long day."
You've definitely looked better.
Welcome back, Rosalina.
Well, thank you. And, oh my god. And she's going to put her hand on your stomach just instinctually.
I'm not going to stop you or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I see the baby's
It's
coming.
not like a huge swell yet, but it's definitely a thought.
It's getting there. Like she
Oh,
is.
is it? How long has it been?
It's been
That's the
about
thing.
3 months.
Yeah, it's been about 3 months, which means you're like a month away.
That's true.
Yeah, you have gotten quite bulbous, if I may say so.
Meh.
Yeah. In fact, there have had the handmaidens aboard the ship have had no spare time in trying to tailor as many dresses as they could every time your stomach grows.
I'll be back to a size 0 shortly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna look at you and actually just...
As you instinctively put your hand on her belly, roll a senescence.
I was just gonna do that.
Yeah, -20.
Oh, I still pass, actually, because
You
it's a
still would
24.
have made it. Yeah, you still would have made it. You feel the psychic equivalent of a kick.
And I'm gonna, like, after I feel that, I'm gonna look up at her and just say, your child will be beautiful.
I'm gonna smile and say, I'll definitely do my best to make sure of it.
And I'm just
I
gonna
think
look at you really quickly, look down at your stomach and look at you and just be like, bear in mind your abilities.
she's gonna take to kind of think, be like, oh, I suppose yours didn't manifest until after you had your children. Until after you had your daughter. Correct that.
Mine didn't manifest until just a dozen years ago.
Wait, dozen? No, it's been. You haven't been psychic for like less than 3.
Yeah, alright, so let's just retcon that. Mine only manifested very recently. But enough talk of that. I require a shower and proper medical treatment.
And with that, everyone, well, is welcome to go where they please. And before Aristide goes back to the bridge, he requests a destination from Rosalina.
I'm gonna give it to him, but I have a question for you. I'm just gonna write this to you real quick.
I mean, there is one stop you wanted to make before you head there, right?
What was that? Sorry, I'm drawing a blank.
You wanted to. This was. You asked me about this out of session. You wanted to go to Forley's.
No, that's at the end of the everything.
I thought you wanted to go there first.
No, she wants to go there at the end of this season.
Fair enough.
Because Rosalina, like, she has to stick to what she's doing. She's inquisitorial and mandated. When she has her own time, she'll go and look for Morano.
All right. Fair enough. So, with that...
But did you get my question?
Yes. Do you... Yes. Did you tell him my destination?
I did.
All right. Before he sets off, he pauses. Aristide pauses, and turning around and asking, "Where is Morano?"
Rosalina's gonna... Did he say this? Like, who's at the hololith with me?
Well, technically you're not there yet. You are in one of the hallways on the Oath Unspoken. And
I'm just
it's
gonna...
just the
look at
3 of you, meaning Thalia, you, and him.
I'm gonna look at him and just say, I'm not sure.
Is she...
She's not dead. At least, I hope she's not dead.
then I have nothing to worry about. She will find her way back. She always does.
I don't know.
And with that, the Oath Unspoken heads once again towards the Mandeville Point in the Aventinian system and breaks into warp space. Alright, and during the travel, if anyone wants to make a scene, that would be the time during travel.
You, lawman.
Ma'am?
Well, she is. Rosalina goes to find Werner and finds him in the training room, but not in one of the cages. He is on one of the exercise mats, lifting what appears to be, let's say, 200 kilograms.
Can you say that in people who have their flag on the moon?
Hold on. I don't speak Chinese.
Oh,
Wow.
Wait,
Oh.
200 kilograms is about 440 pounds.
Jesus
Ziggy.
Christ.
Viggy, can you answer? I have one question for you. I gotta ask. Why do commies hate America so much?
Stop.
So I'm guessing I'm lifting like two 200-pound things.
Yeah, 200 pounds. Yeah, 200 pounds on each side.
I mean, I am strength 60, so fair enough.
Yeah. In fact, let me actually check what the lifting is.
But while you're doing that, he's in the
Rosalina-
training room. Like,
Rosalina is also presenting herself not in her combat attire. This time she's actually just in a lavish dress.
yeah, and he's in his he's more in a training in like a tank top and short. You do notice that despite his age, like his hair is grayed and his skin has wrinkles in it, but his physique seems to be still very much intact.
Right. And Rosalina's going to look at you and say, "Put that down for a second."
He drops them.
And she's going to toss over a small, almost like bubble-looking thing.
All right, and he'll examine it.
It's a
Okay,
microbead.
here. Oh, great. And he slinks it into his ear and says, "I haven't used one of these in a long time, not since those Vermilion riots. That was about 60 years ago." Let's see, testing 1 2.
Yes, you can keep your voice down. It can pick up the very bone. It can pick up the vibration in your bone structure. You don't even have to speak. Simply mouth the words and it'll transfer to us.
Really?
And she looks directly at you without saying a single, without moving her lips at all. And you hear in your microbead, really.
Yeah, fair enough. Guess I'm not familiar. And he tries it himself. Let's see. Wake up around the corner to 2, hard work on that morning run. Oh, I'll be damned.
Yes. It has various frequencies. You can program it yourself, or you can keep it on the open channel that we use. Don't worry. Tarvok made sure that this channel is heavily encrypted. Only people with these can hear him. And if any one of them leaves us, the security system shorts it out, essentially killing the host of it that tries to use it.
Now that is a feature I can get behind. I'm afraid, unfortunately, my technical knowledge only comes into weapon maintenance and mild vehicle maintenance.
Well, don't you worry about that. Between me and Lynn, we could probably get it working.
Fair enough.
Where are you from?
Well, where I'm from is a planet you've been to before, I believe, Nexum. That's where I was born, and spent most of my training before my parents died in a deadly riot.
No.
After then, I was taken.
I don't mean that. Your clothing, that marking there. That comes from one subsector.
Indeed, it does. Provoska.
You're a survivor.
I was there on Firecough. Me and the rest of my squad were holding the line, setting up riot barricades to keep those things from getting on the evac ships.
Oh, wait. No, on Firecough, that's in the future. It's on Provoska itself.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Provoska.
Wait, doesn't that happen multiple times on Provoska?
Yes.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. And so he'll just change Firecough for Provoska. That was a mild mistake on my end.
Yep.
But yeah, he says he was on Provoska, holding the line as we getting the last of the evacs.
Were there any Lockwoods?
Back then, there was one, kind of a young, scrawny fella. I'm trying to remember his name. Sent him off to, last time I heard about him, he was being sent off to Decilium. Got a weird order coming in from the camp that we were keeping him out.
Just one? No others?
I'd have to check the records, but one that I knew of.
And she's going to bow her head for a second and just about bring her hand to her eyes. There's only one. Anyway, if you need me, I will be in my quarters.
Well, hold on now. I've heard many a tale about you and your skills with the blade. I ain't that great at it, but I've heard that you duel people and try to get what you can from them.
Maybe later. Besides, and you see that she actually doesn't have her swords on her side.
Mm-mm.
I am
and
also, just so you know, she's not actually unarmed. You can see the outline of the knife in her boot.
He smiles at this and says, well. And as you kind of turn, he says, shame about Provoska, though. The scholar there was fantastic. I miss a bunch of my old instructors.
And she just stops. So do I. And she keeps walking.
And he'll go back to his... And all the while, like, on the side of the mat, Clementine is just kind of sitting there resting.
Yeah. She seems to have her infrared scanner on active. Just to keep the place under surveillance. Also, I did check what your maximum lifting was without a test. It's 180 kilograms. So I am going to have to ask you for a strength test because this is slightly out of your range.
Let's do it.
Which is how you train.
Oof.
Oh boy.
No, you know what? No, we've re-rolled dumber things. Oof. Bad rolls to start with.
Yeah, well...
now, if it was an athletics test, that would have been different.
That is different indeed, but them's the rules as far as getting extra lifting capacity. And as Rosalina is walking away, she can hear Werner straining to deadlift the weights from the ground, and you hear him oath slightly as he drops them back to the ground.
Law of the land, damn it!
And scene. So, anyone else want to do something?
I just want to note that I am investigating every aspect of the ship to gather as much data as possible.
Roll an awareness for me.
Sure. I'm not gonna reroll.
Oh.
Well, here's a big question. How much did Tarvok clear out before he left?
Technically, from what I understand, he just kind of we didn't really establish this. I just assumed he kind of effed off.
Oh boy, that means his archive is still locked down.
Well, no, but I guess he would have technically. Oh no, he would have had to clear it out because there's a lot of things that people can't really. Like there's a homunculus head in there. Yeah, no, he would probably actually have to clean that out.
How bad could it be?
There's a skull in there, a candle.
That's an interesting candle. You should probably not take that.
All right.
All right. I should rather ask, what doesn't he take?
Let me do something real quick. Let's see. He takes his fridge. He takes the. He takes a bunch of the books that he was reading. Knowing that Thalia was still on the ship, he actually leaves the skull. Knowing that something was it would not let itself be removed.
Alrighty then. Well, Lynn finds the archives, but she mostly finds boring tax evasion measures. Although she has a hunch that there's something she's not quite seeing.
Well, that's how she's gonna spend her time, so she probably won't. She'll be out of sight most of the time from everything.
All right. White, anything specific you want to do?
Okay, yeah, and I don't know how much you'll want me to roll for this or anything, but basically what Abraxas is going to be spending his time doing, at least for the near future, is basically throughout the day going from person to person in the warband and inconspicuously trying to just monitor and observe their daily routine.
All right. I don't think that requires any sort of test.
Mostly just for trying to be inconspicuous about it.
Yeah. Well, in that case, you can roll stealth.
Okay.
Just to be inconspicuous. Yeah, there you go. Plenty of stealth, and you're able to stick to the shadows of the oath unspoken hallways.
Can I try to roll awareness against stuff?
You can try.
I tried. I sure did try.
Tried so hard.
Now, also, just like a 1 hour trip to the gantry, or whatever it's called, the market.
It is the. Wow, I am completely blanking. It's called the.
It starts with a G.
Yeah, let me see. No, it doesn't. No, it's the Drunnels.
I kept calling it Grunnels.
Yeah. Yes, the gigantic marketplace on the midsection of the Oath Unspoken is known as the Drunnels, and it is mostly where
Booze is.
Off-duty crew is, and where most of the booze is located. And while Werner, so long as Werner doesn't go there in his full Arbites gear, no one pays him any mind.
Right. So yeah, he will go drinking like once he's as his kind of post workout.
Yeah, to get the protein. A protein drink mixed with alcohol to get it right into the muscle.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Well, while Werner is there, he does eye Rosalina sitting alone at a bar.
Do my crime senses pick up anything notable?
Well, roll scrutiny for me.
I knew I put points on that for a reason.
Jeez.
Ooh, you do.
Just know, like how bad is it here?
Look, with the 2 degrees of success that you did get, there is you can tell that at least three laws regarding the sale and procurement of various items are broken as you're walking past. You are quite certain that there's more going on behind the scenes, and that was just the stuff in the open.
I'll deal with that later. But he'll kind of walk over to Rosalina where she's at and say, "Buy a drink, Missy."
And you see her spinning a shot glass in her finger. No. And she just twirls it over towards the other few that are just sitting there.
He remembers a time back on Thaur on an investigation when his gun twirling antics were met by a similar display.
I want to try something really quickly. All right, let's see if this works. Not good enough.
What was she trying to say?
She wasn't saying anything as much as she has the knife and carved... she has White, her force knife, her force sword breaker.
Damn it, White.
And she carved an Eldari ruin into the table, but she messed it up.
Yeah.
And the knife is just kind of laying there.
She messed it up. Now it reads poop in Eldari.
I mean, that's so crystalline. But he'll look and say, "Some kind of high gothic I ain't aware of?"
Yeah, you could say that.
Come on, what's wrong? You look down.
No, I am fine. I should be training.
Can I roll scrutiny? Actually, I'm gonna roll scrutiny because that doesn't sound like fine.
Yeah, unless Rosalina wants to.
No, she's intoxicated and something is causing her to feel... She's depressed.
Yeah, well, that's... yeah, you can tell from a mile away that fine is not the right word to use here.
And he looked at it and says, "I mean, you don't have to worry about the badge, ma'am. What's going on? Talk to me."
My friend is gone. My only companion. I have my daughter back, but I still feel empty.
Loss is a commonality in our world, isn't it? Seems there comes a time in every person's life where existence stops giving them stuff and starts taking them away.
Yeah, you could say that. Thalia, she has hers. But not me. She is starting a family. I've lost mine. Hell, even the Inquisitor has... I don't know their relationship.
A wise friend once told me that anywhere can be paradise if you have the will to live. It's from it's from our own existence that we find our happiness.
And she's gonna pick up her knife and just start stabbing at the table just a little bit and just say, "Hope is the first step on the road to disappointment."
And sometimes that's all we got.
Werner, you see when Rosalind starts stabbing the table, you can see that the bald bartender gives her a side eye, but knows better than to say anything.
Yeah, like as he's doing that, I actually point my mechanical finger at him.
He starts to he looks away and starts attending other patrons.
And he says, "Now you don't know me, and I don't know much about you, but if you need help with something, I'm here for you."
Nah, I'll be fine. Although I do need some help back to my room.
At this point, he offers his hand.
And she takes it and gets guided back to the room.
But you notice that when he pulls you up, he doesn't. He's not very forceful with it. Like he's doing it in a way that where he's trying to make it to display like you're doing it yourself. He's just there. Like he's not trying to overshadow anything, or like he's trying to show off as being equal instead of to kind of give you like a little confidence boost. Mighty fine daughter you have, from what I've seen.
Reese is a good girl.
She is. You know, she spent a lot of time with Clementine while she was waiting for you.
She's never seen an animal. And she's just gonna wave her head for a second and just say, she's never back on Pravoska. High hives. We didn't have animals. It's probably
Pravoska,
strange to her.
Wait, you're from Pravoska? That wasn't in the record.
What? Yeah. No, ignore that. And you could tell that she is just heavily intoxicated.
Yeah, like I'm guessing if he put his lighter in front of her mouth, it would ignite.
Yes.
But he will take her to her room and like make sure she gets to bed safely.
If it's hard for me to sort of step in this, I like to have Abraxas waiting outside the room for her to show up. Just, leaning against the wall, arms folded, head in the clouds.
Oh, hey, Skinny.
He just, shakes his head out, looks up. It's like, well, Laman, and what is up with her?
Oh, man. She looks like she's about 3 short of a case right now.
Abraxas is sort of sitting there just wide-eyed and bewildered.
Hey, do me a favor, fella. Mind making sure she gets to sleep real quick? I got some business to take care of.
It would be my pleasure. He just
Walks back to bar with malicious intent.
Actually, no, hold on. As he says that, you see him, like, the kind of empty spot on his chest piece. He slaps a badge on there, and you hear the igniting of a shock mall as he heads back.
Huh.
Snack, no, not snack.
Rosalina hits
some
the...
snack about to be stepped on.
Rosalina hits the activation ruins for her door.
Abraxas sort of like awkwardly follows her as if attempting to just herd her into the room without like touching her or anything.
Inside Rosalina's room, you actually see that she has a full suit of power armor just chilling there. That's magnificently crafted.
I'm sorry. Why does the power armor in my mind? Why is it sitting on a couch?
It's just chilling there with its legs folded, its arm crossed.
Yeah.
No, but you also see how she keeps her weapons and everything is like perfectly maintained. You see sacred undulants next to everything ready, incense burning, prayer scrolls hanging.
Well, isn't this all just a bit excessive? And he looks at the armor, is like, oh, where's that been this whole time?
Oh, yeah. The last armor, it went on a saint.
Pardon?
Do you think? No. No, it's fine. And she's gonna sit down and she's gonna take a drink of water and everything.
The Brax just hesitates for a bit, and then it's just like, go on, ask away.
Ask? What do I have to ask you? You've told me everything.
It's like, well, because like I heard as her saying, "Do you think?" And then, is that what you said? Just out of character.
Yes.
Okay, it's like, well, you're wondering if I think something. No, I think a great many things, but
And she's
what are
going
you
to
wondering?
peer over to the armor, which gives away her question. Her question is, do you think she's worthy of the armor? And she's just going to look back down.
Frankly, all I see is personal protection. What other value do you see in that?
Braxis, your lack of Imperial knowledge is astounding. You remind me of her.
Who?
Huh?
The Eldar?
Marno? Where is she?
I'm not sure any of us know, really.
And you see her kind of like slump over, almost defeated.
He's gonna sort of, except kind of rub his forehead a bit, then just walk over and either, I don't know, lean against the wall or sit on a chair next to her or whatever. And it's just like, she is more than just research, isn't she?
She's gonna look over and, like, without any way of hiding it, you see that it definitely is. No, she's skilled with a gun and a sword. She's useful to us. She left us.
He just bites his lip, thinking for a bit. And just, how long have you known her?
A few years.
And that's all you've kept her around for when, like, and then just like, in the past few days, you've picked up quite a number of people. Then the lawman, there's no shortage of people skilled at killing. Why do you need a Xeno?
She was good company.
Oh? What kind of company?
And you see her just kind of look down at the bottle. And this is just water that she's trying to sober up from.
Gotcha.
Nothing that a damn assassin would understand.
You trust her, don't you?
More than anything. And then you see her, like, get wide-eyed for a second. No, I trust no one. In my line of work, I am not allowed to trust.
I think there are a lot of things you aren't allowed to do. Like, say, haul along someone ever so tainted while, sort of gesturing to himself.
We of the Inquisition walk a very fine line. We walk between oblivion and she's just going to hold her head for a second. We need whatever tools we can get in order to fight the great enemy.
An easy line to walk when you pick where it is.
And where is yours?
I'm not too sure, but all I know is that I have crossed it before.
Are you loyal to humanity, or are you just some deranged psychopath that I'll eventually have to put to the sword? Hell, we picked you up in Komora. Logically, I should put you down.
You picked up the Inquisitor in Komora.
She is an Inquisitor.
Selena, why the hell have you kept me as long as you have? Even as short as it's been.
And she's gonna point over to her sword. I need somebody to train against.
Yet here you are, intoxicated, seemingly unarmed, alone in a room with a psychopath. You're a very peculiar person.
Do you assume I'm defenseless?
I don't assume anyone's defenseless.
You see the winds of servo skulls come around the corner.
Funny little things.
Leave me, Abraxas.
If you wish, I'll just stand up.
Excuse me.
And I'll start to leave, then I'll stop, turn around, and then just ask, are you afraid for her?
As Aristide said, she'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
She always finds her way back.
Well, if that's the case, stop worrying, pick yourself up, and keep moving forward. Then she'll catch up with you, eventually.
And I assume you say that as you leave.
Yeah.
Oh, dramatic.
Very dramatic.
Rosalina is all worried that her lover is gone while everybody else finds theirs.
Your OC is worrying about her hot Eldar girlfriend.
I know, right? It's so ridiculous out of character.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous in character, too. Let's be honest.
Yeah. It's a whole bunch of nonsense, this thing. All right. Any last takers before we arrive? Going once. Going twice. Sold to the gentleman in the front seat. And we arrive in the Vaxi system. As the elephant spoken breaks out of the warp, Aristide immediately orders full powers to the ship's auspex, and the return is a rather bleak one. Not a single warning buoy. Buoy?
Stop it.
I crack myself up.
Nerd.
I know. And the lonely system and the lonely planet that is Vaxi seems to have a shell of orbital debris around it. Just so thick that it almost looks like a shell around the planet.
This doesn't look habitable.
As you draw closer, you can see that the wrecks are those of Imperial vessels.
Olin,
Yes.
Can you give me a full history of this world?
You can't say.
I can't say. I can't say. I'm gonna look over at Rosalina and say, this planet doesn't have history.
That many Imperial wrecks in this planet has nothing?
There are no records.
It's almost like it was deleted.
That sounds.
I'm gonna make a
sketchy.
logic test. If a Jedi bad Star Wars
God
movie
damn.
could figure it out.
That's Jesus.
You go completely Obi-Wan Sherlock Clouseau on this planet.
Look over at Rosalina with a smirk and say, I do believe that this could only be the result of file tampering.
Autoredactus?
It would seem so. Or something else. But that would be less likely.
Something else. What do you mean?
There are many ways you could tamper with Imperial records. None of them particularly comforting.
Tarvok, I wanna... Oh, yeah, he's gone. Lynn, can you study the Oggs on the ships? Get records of them, possibly.
I probably can, yes. And I can analyze them as well.
Indeed you can, and you can roll a scrutiny against your intelligence if that's possible. I actually don't know if the sheet handles that. Let me see.
It does, and I fail. Corn says no. All
Alright.
Oh, wait, I can assist with that.
Okay, well, I still would have failed that first one, but this is on a 73. Okay.
I could also help with that.
Okay, I don't know why it didn't give me why it made it a 48 that time.
Oh, because you rolled security. They look very
Okay, so
similar.
it should be on a 58 then, which means I got 5 degrees.
Yes. So, as you examine the Auspex data from the ship scanners, you can see that they seem to confirm what your eyes are telling you, and that this planet looks completely dead. There is no sign of life anywhere on it.
So.
And what about the
The
that's-
ships?
planet is, as far as we can tell, uninhabited.
And the ships? Where do they hail from? Or where did they hail from?
I'll have the scrutiny test be able to answer that too. You got plenty of degrees of success.
I figured.
Yeah, and as Lynn is busy going through every single class of ship that she spots, she's even able to pick up on some of the names, but all of them have the same thing in common. They are all Imperial vessels. Not a single non-Imperial in sight.
Jeez, and that's where we're heading?
It doesn't look like we'll be too welcomed.
Well, in that case, he will lift up his shield and his weapon will let out a loud...
Jeez. I know that that's real, too.
Well, look, the gun specifically says it lets out a loud noise when you cock it.
Yes, there is specific fluff regarding his type of shotgun that has a loud reloading sound specifically built into it for a psychological effect.
That is actually true.
Yeah, it is really, really funny and completely terrifying at the same time.
So we don't know about any planetary defense force or any type of automated guns.
There's not even an automated hail response.
We'll have to go down as quickly as possible. dip down low to avoid AA fire. The Corvus should be able to do it.
I will ask what AA fire. There's literally no return.
Yeah, well, these things... there's destroyed vessels in the orbit of this planet. Rosalina's not taking a single chance.
Fair enough. All right.
Inquisitor, will you be accompanying us?
Of course I will. We're going to meet Hunt, aren't we?
You've been here before, haven't you?
I can't say.
So where can't you say that we need to land?
Don't worry. We'll find him. Alright. So, are you gonna load up?
Load weapons and armor into the Corvus Black Star. Has the... do you want me to roll... this is going to sound stupid, but can I roll an influence to reload the weapons?
Sure. If you make it, everyone gets 2 extra clips of ammo for a gun of their choice.
Yeah, I get 4 extra arms.
Oh my.
I meant for the gunship, the Corvus.
Load sword with malicious intent.
Ah, fair enough. Yeah, roll an influence. See if you can have the... Oh yeah, easy. The Corvus is fully loaded. Or rather, fully reloaded.
I'm going to assume all the arming servitors is still there, doing maintenance and everything. I'm going to shoosh them away.
They get shoosed away like a flock of space geese.
Tarfok told me to say this to them when they are close. It is a guttural low Gothic term. Your mother was a toaster, and your dad has bad circuit boards.
Buzz, and they will all scatter away.
Alrighty.
So, with the Corvus Black Star locked and loaded, it is time to take off.
Do you want me to...
Rosalina, no, you don't need to roll to take off. However, if you do want to get through the wreckage that orbits Vaxi, you are going to have to make an operate aeronautica test.
Okay.
Ooh,
I'm going to re-roll it.
Oh. Phew.
So as we see like a piece of orbital debris coming towards it, I'm going to quickly pull around the Corvus and shoot the assault cannon into it to tear it in half.
Indeed you do. And as that piece of debris is... Actually, it's a bunch of bolt rounds slamming into it, so it would...
Just detonate.
Just detonate and send the thing flying in another direction. And you are able to barely fly past the orbital debris and get into the atmosphere. As you enter the atmosphere of Vaxi, you can see that the planet is heavily that the planet's air seems heavily polluted with ash storms flying around. It takes some maneuvering to avoid a gigantic one, but as soon as you are coasting in high altitude, the Corvus's Auspex picks up a locator beacon. As you inquire the machine spirit about the nature of this locator beacon, it simply flashes up the tri-barred eye of the Inquisition.
Hunt, you have a thing for the theatrics.
Indeed he does. And as you fly closer to the locator beacon, you find what appears to be the ruined remains of a spaceport. and the only remaining landing platform, which is only leaning slightly, which you can see like this.
Oh, lovely. Do I have to roll operate aeronautics to try to land this thing safely? Because it is heavy.
It is heavy, true. Let's see you roll. Oh, barely made it. As the Corvus Blackstar sets down its landing struts, you can feel the slight. You can feel the landing platform give slightly before coming to a full stop and killing the engines.
We're gonna meet RoboCop.
Well.
Alright. Craft is landed. And I'm gonna let out an Auspex scan from the craft itself because it's, well, stronger.
That is true. Roll awareness plus 30. Heck yeah. As you look around, there is no return, but then to confirm the emptiness of the destruction all around. Now, I'm going to say that the picture that I have is slightly inaccurate in the sense... Don't do that. Slightly accurate in the sense that there are no fires burning anywhere. It is... As you look around, you can see that everything has this sense of age about it. There's dust everywhere. There's not a single structure still standing. There are ruins everywhere. And I really need to know who is the first to disembark.
If it ain't broke, don't break it. Braxis will strut out unless, John, you want to go?
Oh, by all means. But he is going to have his shield up when he walks out.
No, like while strutting out, Braxis is going to be saying, one thing I like about traveling with you people is that as soon as one place gets boring, we're immediately in a new place, and then he just walks out absent-mindedly.
As soon as you step outside, your foot steps on a mound of ash, and you hear it crack beneath your feet.
He just slowly takes his foot off it, and he's just like, huh.
As you look beneath your foot, you can see the cracked skull and jaw. It's broken to the inside where you stepped on it.
Just like home. Then he just casually walks out.
At this point, he will put on his helmet, which on it, like kind of wrapped around the helmet, is a pack of glow sticks and the Emperor's Tarot card, the Judge, and written on to the other side of it is Born to Judge.
Jeez.
And he will have his shield and shotgun in hand as he kind of marches out.
All right. Farnov follows next. She's been able to find herself a heavy leather, a heavy flak jacket, actually.
I will follow Farnov for it.
What's your-
Indeed. Yeah.
I'm actually gonna hold my shield over Lynn and Farnov's head.
Farnov nods approvingly.
Also, because I'm not 100% sure if this rain is acid or not.
Well, I'm about to find out.
Rosalind, do you want to join us under my giant umbrella?
incapacitated.
She is muted right now.
Oh, just to be safe, assume yeah.
Yeah, let's say that. So, I think, does Lynn have an Auspex?
I believe I can.
Yeah, let's say that you have. You would be the kind of person.
Don't forget you also have an Atheroscope.
That's
Yes.
that's also true. So, as Lynn equips her Auspex, she is able to locate where the beacon signal is coming from, and it's coming from beyond a nearby hill.
If we follow this direction precisely 540 meters in that direction, and then turn, we'll be heading towards our destination.
That sounds good to me. Rosalina's gonna slap on her rebreather.
Do you? So I'm not sure if you heard, but Werner lifted his massive shield over his head and kind of brought the Inquisitor and Farnov and Lynn kind of next to him. Would you like to be under the giant umbrella until we know if the rain's acid or not?
I mean, we could just test with an Auspex to see if it's acid rain.
That's true. Lynn, roll tech use to calibrate the Auspex. There you go. The return is below acceptable levels.
As in the pH?
Yes.
Okay. Then I will report to everyone that indeed it is acidic.
I just imagine that Praxis walks back in sizzling. I changed my mind. When are we leaving?
As you walk in, you see Rosalina donning her actual power armor.
Odd idea.
Kind of smirks at it.
I said weapons up. You guys should have grabbed some.
Yeah, well,
I'm fully armed.
Literally.
I brought an umbrella.
so,
Riza,
Oh, yeah.
stay aboard the ship.
yeah. Oh, yeah, there's actually 2 power armor people here. Alexis, roll for me 2d5.
I can't.
I can roll them for you.
Yes, please.
Boop. Boop. You have 5 hours. So, as you begin your half a kilometer trudge through the ash-strewn debris of Vaxi, you are increasingly more unnerved every time you step on what appears to be a dust mound, only to hear the cracking of bone underfoot. It seems that there is no end in sight for the amount of, bones strewn everywhere.
What in the throne happened here?
Looks like a surface level or exterminatus. Glassing the entire place.
Well, what better place to hide your dirty secrets than on a dead world?
I can think of one place.
It's not a bad idea, actually.
You walk the rest of the journey in silence. Your only companion, the dripping rain, either on top of powered helmets or suppression shields.
And Brax is just melting as he walks through the rain.
It's not that bad. Don't worry, he'll just get skin cancer in the next 40 years.
Okay.
There's also fluoride in there for some reason.
Yeah,
No, it's just fluoride.
Literally entirely fluoride rain.
Ugh.
You just get a troop holding his robes over his head, just in a
Hey.
body glove.
I bet the dental health care here is amazing.
I mean, think of all the bones that are still remaining. If you check the teeth, they're
Okay.
They
they're
could be
perfect.
stronger. Of course, all their
Perfect
pineal glands are
teeth.
missing, but
Well, yeah, there's not a pineal gland in sight. Which, so, as you crest the final hill, you can see what appears to be the edge of a small cliff, which you later realize is a gigantic building that's fallen onto its side. Sitting on the edge of this gigantic structure, you see a lonely figure dressed in a heavy leather jacket.
Identify yourself.
You see the bald head look around, and the circled beard confirms that it is Hunt.
oh my gosh. It's Anton LaVey.
The rain made him bald.
You look like a creeper.
One punch! Anyway, jokes aside, I'm just gonna be... As he turns around, I'm just gonna be like, Lord Hunt, and I'm gonna take a knee.
You don't have to do that.
Of course. Why aren't you covered? The rain is acidic.
I have long since stopped worrying about such trifling things.
Rex is just standing there.
She's gonna walk close to Hunt.
You see him looking over the scene of devastation. Without even needing to roll a scrutiny test, you can tell that there's a age-long regret in his green eyes.
Oh no.
You did this, didn't you?
So to speak, I did not speak out when this atrocity was carried out. No, it was not I who gave the order, but it is I who has been trying to clean it up ever since I came here. I was there, Rosalina. I was there when the skies over Vaxi rained fire, and the military might of an entire sector was brought to bear. Can you imagine it? Millions of men raining from the sky, not their masters not caring whether they make it to ground safely, and the people below firing out of confusion. I have spent all my life trying to solve this mystery.
What information can you give us about this world?
This is the world of Vaxi. It was a mustering ground for the sector capital before the atrocity.
What triggered the event?
There was a conclave of inquisitors called. The initiator was witch hunter Lord Spyron Hark, who had been investigating the so-called hidden lords of Ascalon. The truth will out, he said, before he ventured forth and gathering all the military might he could. There were others that opposed him, not for some political gain, just out of principle. And before you know it, the sector governor is being accused of declaring succession from the Imperium, and the entire Inquisition unites and brings their guns to bear here.
And she's going to look out into the devastation.
This is the reason, Rosalina. This is why there are so few of us in Escalon, and why I refuse to leave. You see Farnov looking at Inquisitor Hunt's back. There's a sadness in her eyes, but it looks. But anyone who looks closer can see that it is more closer to pity.
What brought on the succession?
Unknown. Hold on. I need one name that has blanked out of my mind. I know where it is. It is called. Here we go. Let me see. Ah, there it is. It is unknown what Lord Romanav's intentions were. He died before we were able to extract the truth from him. And I have been chasing cold leads and dead ends for over 3 centuries.
And she's going to look almost confused at you.
Hunt finally, after a long silence, raised himself up and dusts himself down. But I did not summon you here to sulk. We are here for important business.
Of course.
Follow me.
Of course, my lord.
And he walks down the length of the building, and at its base you can see what appears to be an entrance into some sort of underground area. And as soon as you enter, the rain mercifully subsides.
Wow. Place is pretty nice still.
Well, there's nothing that's been... Do you actually comment on this out loud?
Sure. Despite the bombardment, the buildings still remain.
These things were built underground. The bombardment, as you speak of, didn't actually happen. All of that, everything that you just saw outside. Oh, hold on. For some reason, my audio didn't start playing. Let me see. There it is, and I need to start it up. Here we go. Hunt explains that all of the destruction that you saw on the surface was from ground engagements, but to call them engagements is a gross understatement.
Why would the people here put the torch?
Short-sightedness, seal, take your pick. As you walk across bridges and down stairways, you finally reach a gigantic, a gigantic hall, which seems to have been built like an underground amphitheater. At the bottom of the amphitheater, you can see a long table has been set up, with one chair on the right side and two chairs on, not chairs, they are stone thrones closer to it, hewn out of the rock. However, the fact that there is not only one chair missing for the third, there is a life-sustaining sarcophagus where the third throne should be. Rosalina Lockwood, please allow me to introduce Inquisitor Gustav Grimm of the Ordo Malleus. It took me a while to haul him here.
The pleasure is all mine, my lord.
You see, through the opaque glass, through the front armor glass of the sarcophagus, bleh, why can't I speak? There is a vaguely humanoid shape, though there seem to be limbs missing, and the loudhailer blurts into life on top of it. I'll have you know, this brings me no pleasure to say, but I am slightly disappointed. The stories I had heard did not tell me of this.
Of this?
You will know in good time.
In her actual head, like not out loud, Rosalina's like, "You dick." She'll just bow her head slightly and just say, "Of course, my lord."
As the rest of the warband takes a seat in the amphitheater, you notice that on the other sides of the amphitheater, there are other, what are no doubt inquisitorial agents, no doubt belonging to Gustav, since Farnov just arrived here, and Hunt's acolytes have already shown up.
Is Tobian and Harold here?
No, Tobian is dead.
Yeah, that would have surprised me too.
Yeah, that would have been a huge surprise. However, there are two others, meaning Daedalus Brecht and Harlock. You can see them sitting at the top of the amphitheater. One of them, Harlock, is smoking a low stick, and Daedalus appears to be reassembling his las gun. Hunt and Farnov both take their seats and bid you to take yours.
I'll pull out the seat and sit down and then finally clear out my nose, because oh my god. I'll take off my helm and put it next to me, and then remove my rebreather.
Hunt pulls out what anyone can tell is a vox recorder, and he presses a circular red rune, and you see spools start spinning on it. Inquisitorial evaluation of Interrogator Rosalina Lockwood, Ordo Hereticus. What's the word I'm looking for? Attending Inquisitors are Inquisitor Severus Hunt, Ordo Hereticus, Inquisitor Denisia Farnov, Ordo Xenos, and Inquisitor Gustav Grimm of the Ordo Malleus, and various acolytes and throne agents. It is 6.594.998.m41. Evaluation begins now. State your name for the record.
Oop, 1 second, I took a bite of something.
Damn it.
That's it. You're fired.
That's
Wait,
it.
do you want name and title?
Yes.
Interrogator Rosalino Lockwood of the Lockwood Estate of Pervoska.
Farnov speaks up. Where were you born? What planet were you born on?
Pervoska's capital world. Pervoska.
And how old were you when you left Provoska?
Physical age of about 37.
I thought that was her current age.
Actual age, oh, it would be 30.
Yeah, because she's been working for the Inquisition for almost 8 years now.
I thought it would be closer to 10, but yeah.
You started at 990.m41.
Fair enough.
And it's hitting the end of the millennium. So,
Physical age of 30. Actual age of 80.
what caused this discrepancy?
I was kept in stasis.
What was your first mission for the Inquisition?
My first mission for the Inquisition was to head to Desolium and find... what was the one guy's name?
Lance Gul'jan.
And find and capture Lance Gul'jan.
You were looking for Xenos artifacts.
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't know you wanted the whole mission. Okay.
Yeah,
He
they
had
are.
in his possession Xenos artifacts, which we were to capture, contain, and if we could not transfer, destroy.
And how did this mission turn out?
The target was destroyed. The man was interrogated, and then put a bolt in, and then I put a last bolt through his head. Artifacts were recovered. And note that we discovered a connection to others that had similar artifacts, and thus we began a separate investigation on our own.
What was the name of this connection? Farnov speaks up.
Oh, wow, John, you know this.
Like the post, I forgot.
The smuggling group. The specific one.
The faceless traders.
The Faceless Trade is the overall name used for Xeno smuggling, Xeno artifact smuggling. This specific smuggling ring was the Trade Sable.
Yeah. Ah, right. We were looking for... Oh, we found connections to the Trade Sable.
That was not all you found, was it?
No. Corruption and heresy. The lower house...
In what form?
The great enemy.
Elaborate.
In the lower hives of Desolium, we discovered horrific ruins and experimentation that led to the possession and amalgamation of flesh into reality. They were of otherworldly appearances, and we decided to destroy them. And we destroyed each and every single one of them.
Now is not the time for vagaries. Specifics.
They each had a symbol and would cry a name when they died. Nergleth.
I do believe that my colleague is referring to the demon host you found.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the demon host. What was his name?
You didn't find that out.
That was Halbrel's shtick. Like, that's when we ran into Halbrel.
Oh, right.
There's a lot of stuff you're forgetting.
Yeah. You guys can help me with this, by the way.
Yes,
I got you.
everyone is allowed to help with this if they were a part of the current interrogation.
We
So
encountered...
players are allowed to help Alexis. Characters are not allowed to help Rosalina.
We encountered a demon host, but were ambushed by a rogue tech priest, a heretic by the name of Halbrel.
What was his name? Farnov asks.
The name of
The heretic.
Halbrel.
Oh wait, sorry, my bad. I must have cut out.
Continue.
Continuing. Did you destroy said demon host?
Yes, the demon host was destroyed. Its body was not recovered.
And what of the heretic?
Pursued, hunted down, and destroyed on the planet of... John,
Cool.
where was it? John, just
The
say
Demon
it.
World? Cool.
What was it?
Cool.
Cool.
Cool. Yes.
Explorator Tarvok was the one to finally put it down. That bastard took my leg.
Hunt speaks up now. To return to the subject of the Xenos artifacts, the trade sable connection, where did it lead?
To a planet known as Farley's.
You mean Thaur?
Oh, Thaur, yeah. We got them from the Xeno... Like, we found the connection to the Xenos, didn't we?
Yes.
What was that
It
called?
what? You didn't actually find out what specific Xenos it was. You just found their homeworld.
John, what was the name of that homeworld?
Thaur.
Oh. We took out the leaders of the Faceless Trade, didn't we?
No, you took out the leaders of the trade sable.
Yeah,
which
that's
is a subset of faceless traders.
And we killed those on Thaur, right?
Yes. Well, actually, you killed them on the Oath Unspoken. The rest, most of them died on Desolium. The final one died aboard the Oath Unspoken en route to Thaur. You didn't even kill him. He was killed by the cultists.
Huh. That's fair enough. So I'm going to start relaying a lot of this information, and I'm going to say we killed most of them en route to Thaur. Their leader was murdered aboard the Oath Unspoken, a rogue trader vessel that has accommodated us.
Who was he murdered by?
I am unsure. There was a frantic mob of cultists that took him out. Confirmation in the form of pictos, and I'll slide my data slate with the images of his dead body.
Which cult was this?
Hey John, what was the name of that cult?
The Putrid Flesh, I believe, something like that.
No. These were the Children of the Inheritance.
Oh yeah, with that weird liquid
Yes.
that we then proceeded to wipe out.
Blood of Izumat.
Yes.
What was the cult name again?
The Children of the Inheritance.
The Children of the Inheritance was the name of the cult aboard the Oath Unspoken. We sought out their leaders and killed them, disrupted their squads, and then ordered the Voidsmen to take out the rest. We then spent the next few months hunting down each and every single one of them, making sure they tasted the Emperor's justice.
Did you track this cult down to its base of operations?
John, did we?
Yes, you did, on Thaur.
Oh. They too were located on Thaur. They were tied to, what's his name, right? The heretic?
There was only a slight connection to that.
Yeah, remember when we fought the demon prince of Slanesh in the church?
Oh, yeah.
Not of Slanesh.
Or my be the demon prince.
It was the demon prince of Zine.
Right.
Thank you, Riley. Let's see.
Ah, yes, the Thaurian incident.
Yes. A demon prince of...
The changer of ways.
Yes. Thanks to my lord here, we were able to destroy the beast. It helped that I had a very sharp shooter with me as well.
You revealed yourself to the planetary governor.
Unfortunate, but had to happen, yes.
Gustav adds nothing to that. After the Thaurian incident, where did you go? After retaining the rank of interrogator and more liberty to pursue your own investigations, what course of action did you choose?
That's when we hunted down Halbrel, isn't it?
Yes, that's when you started on that.
We ended up in the snow caves of Desolium.
Did you do that first?
Yeah, that was
Sure.
just kind of something that happened.
That's true. I am blanking on the order which this happened. Did you first go into the... Oh yes, you did. You did. So, you delved into the Desolian Underhive to disrupt, I believe. I forget. It was a subset of the Callers of Sorrow. I myself am even forgetting this detail.
So let's just fast forward through that.
Fair enough. Now, I need help here because the next thing is a bit of a blur to me as well. So, after killing Halbrel, was it Foralis next?
Yes.
Farnov speaks up. You went to... next, you went to Foralis, the homeworld of the Vor dynasty of rogue traders.
And she's gonna bite her lip just slightly about that, because she did have that redacted.
Well, it is the Inquisition's job to know. I'm pretty sure Lynn has something to do with this.
Yeah, Lynn would definitely have been the one to be like, this is redacted, but if we check here, and we check here, and we extrapolate this... Ah, there it is. And then she pulled up. And that would have happened years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We traveled to Foralis next because we caught wind of trades happening there with more Xenos artifacts.
Please elaborate.
We captured and interrogated somebody who was in the possession of something, well, unhuman. Xenos tech. After a little bit of interrogation by use of Excruciator Kit plus my gifts, we extracted where he got it from. We decided to pay a visit to Foralis. On the planet of Foralis, we ran into the Eldari.
Indeed. And It was there where you exploited a specific relationship to a Zangshun Sino.
Yes.
Farnov does not seem to be asking any questions. She's merely stating fact and asking you to confirm them.
Yes. Marno assisted me in tracking down her kin.
Can you trust her?
One can never trust a Xenos. But
Good.
Marno has been well behaved, let's just say. Her information proved reliable. She hunted down her kin with the promise that I wouldn't put them to the sword. In
Did you?
truth, if they were to attack me, I would still kill them nonetheless.
There's one incident that I wish to ask further of. The head of the Vor dynasty, Maximilian. He died in your embrace, did he not?
Eldari long rifle to the back of his spinal column took him out instantaneously.
And your force field was not active?
I don't know why it did not go off.
Rather curious, do you not think?
Discovering that he was one of the leaders in the sable trade, he would have died regardless.
This is where I will slightly alter your answer, in the sense that it was the... I need the C notebook here. It is called... Where is it? It's up front. Oh look, I saw Dark Hammer's entry. The Cerulean Pact, aka blue, also called Blue Booking. Yes, he was the leader of a sect of faceless trader known as the Cerulean Pact.
I will relay that information. The Eldari did me a favor by taking him out.
Did you learn what their ultimate intention was?
They were looking for their own artifacts.
And you let them get away?
There was more than I anticipated. We tracked down their cohort to a webway portal, an ancient one. There was a war host there. In order to avoid war with them, I negotiated peace agreements with them.
Have you pursued since?
I have had scouts checking the area every now and then for them. Any presence would be relayed to me, and now relayed to you. And she looks over at Farnov.
She nods.
So far, they haven't caused a stir.
After Forley's. Actually, what was after Forley's? Was it,
Halbrel.
Was it? No.
No, we went to the shrine.
Oh yeah, the saint.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. You went.
Saint Milk Toast.
Hey, that's right. You went to. I'm blanking on her name.
Novabella.
Novabella. There we go. Thank you.
That mustard luck.
I'm just imagining like Lynn is the one that's like standing there, like giving them all the information, and I'm just like, God damn it, Lynn.
She knows everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
I appreciate a good rat.
Whoa.
She is trampling Sneck right now.
You don't even know what Sneck is.
Yeah,
Just the
Snake
thing that
eats
you
rat.
trampled on and obliterated at this. I'm just messing.
Yeah, we were
Anyway,
just playing with.
okay. So back to
Yeah.
it.
So, you see Hunt give a slight sigh when he says, "The Nova Bella incident."
Nova Bella was
For-
an agricultural.
Shrine World, yes.
No, we went to the agri world to get her.
Yeah, it is a Agri-World / Shrine World. Both, kinda, ish.
No, we took her to a shrine world.
No, Nova Bella is both.
Huh, weird. The
Yeah,
agricultural shrine of Nova Bella.
How did you chance upon her?
Her. You mean Saint Taya?
Yes, the newly canonized saint of the Ascalian Synod.
We were investigating the murder of an astropath. I noticed when I put on the psychic hood and connected myself to the astropathic choir in the what was it? It was a shrine of some sort.
It was a communique throne.
Within his communique throne, to try to gain any information about the last few moments of his life, I saw everybody's soul within the planet, and one burned extremely brightly. A woman in a small farmstead outside of the towns.
How could you be sure?
I have seen the things from beyond. I have seen what makes them. I have unmade them. I have destroyed them. I have hunted them. This was different. There was a warmth, a glow. I had to find her.
Then there's the matter of that little uprising.
Yes.
What happened?
What actually did happen?
Well, you sought out the highest spiritual authority on the planet and told him that the nobility was being unpious.
Oopsie daisy, my bad.
What do you tell them?
We had reason to believe that the Imperial, the Lords of the World were failing in their promises to the Imperial citizens, and not paying any of their tithes to the Imperium at large, but in fact keeping stores upon stores of it on the planet instead of feeding their people, just letting it rot. The spiritual leader of the planet, along with myself, helped them change their minds, and now Nova Bella is once again returning to the Imperium and paying its tithes. Granted, I could have done it in a less showy fashion, but the point was still made.
And what was the judgment for the nobility?
Didn't we leave them to their devices?
Yeah, you kind of just left.
We regret nothing.
I don't regret anything. The nobility, after being informed of their inefficiency, but needing to maintain order, we left them in charge. And now, with the spiritual leader upon their council, they have embraced the more zealot nature of the ecclesiarchy.
I see. Out of character, what planet was next? Was it next to...
We went
The
to
Shrine
the
World.
actual shrine world.
Oh yeah, that's true. You went straight to the...
Then we had the
Okay.
Gellerfield incident.
Yes, Osuar and the Gellerfield. The loss of the Gellerfield.
Excuse me.
You had it next to Osuar.
To
But
get
but the logs of the Oath Unspoken mention an incident.
The gullah fields flickered. Reality shattered. We had to put a few creatures in their place and banish them from the realm of the Imperium. It was
And
there that I was...
Oh, go on.
It was there that I bared witness to the Saints' real powers.
You're referring to Saint Taya.
Yes. She banished the demons. All of them. And saved my life.
And fast-tracked her own canonization.
Yes.
What pantheon?
I believe it to be the chain... No, this was... Yeah, this
It
was
was.
Zinj.
Yeah, Siege again.
The Changer of
Yeah.
Ways.
Alright. Upon Osuar,
God damn it, Riley.
Upon Osuar, the Saint's escort was not the only thing that that happened there.
No. Investigation revealed that there was inquisitorial activity there. I wished to find out why, and thus did some research of my own. I found out that there was a demon being kept by a canoness, protected and revered as a saint. Every ounce of my being told me this was wrong. So, we went and destroyed the creature. The Adeptus Sororitas of the world assisted. I forced the canoness to take the oath of repentance for punishment.
You mentioned inquisitorial investigation. Upon whose authority?
What was Noble's Inquisitor's name?
I honestly forget. I'm going to make a quick search. Let me see if I search his tab. Let me see this.
As I eat a Dorito.
Yeah. Let me see. Da-da-da-da-da. I don't see it. Not quickly enough. Let's just go with just mention Volric's name, and that should do it.
The person's name was... Hang on, I'm actually coughing.
You okay?
Like I said, I'm still trying to get over being sick.
Hmm.
It was an interrogator of the Otomalius by the name of Volric. He had with him 2 servo skulls and obsidian plate. He was a blank.
He is known to us.
Needless to say, with my gifts and his gifts, we didn't quite see eye to eye.
You see the 2 inquisitors that have faces, both smile at this. Whatever Gustav's face is doing, impossible to tell.
Probably twitching.
Probably So, all right. Next was Nexum, right? I believe.
Yep.
Yes.
And that was for her, right?
The for her. Oh, it was
No.
for Crimson.
Oh my god, yes, the sad story of Crimson. Ah, don't make me relive this again.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this. The logs of the Oath Unspoken show that it docked in high orbit over Nexum, a penal colony. You did not make a report on this.
A report was made by my acolyte, Explorator Tarvak. I wished to retrieve my inquisitorial agent, an informant by the name of Vornis Crimson.
Where is he now?
Dead. By my hand.
Why did you have to kill him? Hold on, let me rephrase that. Why did you kill him?
His body became host to She Who Thirsts.
Which... Oh, sorry, I was going to ask which one it was. You made the right choice.
We had to take care of an incident that happened on the planet involving the Dukari. They were using the place as a torture garden. We put them to the torch and killed every single one of them. But not before we got information that would lead us to the discovery of... And she looks over at the Inquisitor.
You mean Farnov?
Yep.
Because there's 3 you could have looked at.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, this had nothing to do with Farnov. This was too early.
Actually, it did.
Did it?
Yes, because that Archon was related to the one that we found. Not the Archon, the Homunculus was related to the one that we found, and we used information from that to track the one that was holding her.
That is true, but you didn't know that at the time.
No, but connections.
Connections.
Alright, so
Now.
we killed the creatures and took what we needed for investigation and study, destroyed the rest of the bodies, and cleansed the place with orbital bombardment. Investigation teams went down after to make sure all threats of Xenos activity were destroyed, and all witnesses were cleansed. I'm sure the penal colony is doing quite well now with the new habitational blocks that have been implemented. Or cleared out.
So now it seems like the further along the story we go, the less I remember, because all of the older stuff I remember way more.
Ha.
What planet was after Nexum?
I believe that's when we went after Halbrow.
Oh, that's no. Halbrow has been dead at that point for quite some time.
That's when we went to the water world. That's when we went to that nerd place with all the nerds arguing.
You went to Jovan, then Aventine. Okay, now and then we're getting caught up. And it was at this point you received my summons.
Yes, you wished us to find the Inquisitor first.
Hunt glances over at Farnov. Yes, I did, and you performed admirably. Tell us, about your journey to find Farnov?
She kind of strains her hands for a second. Thanks to being a native born amongst Provoska, I am very pale white, similar to that of the Dukari. This came in handy when moving through their city. Farnov has been... And I look over. Does she nod?
She nods.
Farnov has been investigating webway portals. We noticed that when she went missing, it was the last place her residence remained that my psychic essence could pick up.
Do you mean residue?
Yes, thank you. So we activated her portal after acquiring some unwitting psychers.
Farnov at this point states, for the record, said research has been terminated permanently.
Yes,
where did you find those psychers?
There's an incident on your homeworld that needs your direct attention. Warriors clad in Astartes armor. Heretics.
You see air bubbles forming in the life-sustaining sarcophagus with the blackened form inside shifting around.
We put one of our best agents on it.
Traitors, heretic, purge them all! And you see Hunt reach over and press a button, and the loud hailer goes silent. Don't worry, he'll have to vent for a bit.
I do agree with him, though. After Volric's work is completed, I will have to go back and check it to make sure it's done 100%. There were 2 Astartes and a small renegade psyker. Powerful one.
Let the records show that your first priority should be to investigate that.
They escaped. But in order to track down the Inquisitor, I leveled a building on them. I unloaded everything from a Corvus Blackstar into them.
Did you confirm the kill?
We could not find their bodies. We
Then
did
we
confirm...
Then we assume they're still at large.
Of course. We confirmed the destruction of several Psychers and several Servitors. We took the Psychers to open the portal.
Point of order, the Psychers and the Servitor were one and the same.
Yep. We were hoping to accomplish the rescue of Farnov relatively quickly while we tracked down the heretic Astartes. We were in for a bigger surprise than we were anticipating. That was my failure.
What did you find?
The dark city of Camorra on the other side of the portal.
One moment, please. Hunt reaches over and presses that same rune on the life-sustaining sarcophagus. All should be burned in holy fire. Click. Keep going.
Of course. We tracked through the Dark City for quite some time. We acquired some of the Dukari's outfits. And with it, I was able to slip through the crowds.
And with it, you were able to locate Farnov.
Yes. But the enemies are always one step ahead. and upon locating far enough, we discovered that it was a trap. We were to be executed in the pits of Camorra. But I am not one that's shy of a blade. We put up a hell of a fight, and Marno rescued us. She has proved relatively useful to me.
And how did you escape the Dark City?
Marno has a good navigational sense of the webway. We acquired one of their vessels, a Raider-class pleasure cruiser.
It was just a pleasure barge, no class or anything.
Well, I'm calling it a Raider-class, so
Fair enough.
See? That's somebody yelling at you. Anyway. With the assistance of Marno and knowing the technology, we were able to navigate the warp. Navigate the webway. Marno disappeared within the webway, but we were able to escape. We arrived on a death world by the name of, I forgot.
Yanth.
With the help of the disgusting Kroot, we were able to find a war sphere, open up communique with the Imperial vessel, and escape the planet.
Hunt holds up a finger, reaches over and presses that same rune again. There is silence. Please keep going.
We returned. Tarvok was made an explorator by some strange Mechanicus fellows. Their ways still confuse me. But I digress. More study on that will be necessary for later. With the acquisition of a ship, he was made explorator and set off on his own adventures. He still serves as my acolyte and informant. But him having a little bit of leeway seems like a good thing for me. Aside from that, we return to her home, and we're called here.
So, out of character now.
That was 3 years of Queen's Court.
That was 3 years of Queen's Court. Holy crap, a lot has happened. So, out of character, does anyone want the interrogation to keep going, or is this enough? I'm asking the players now.
I'm good either way.
I mean, this is Rosalina's time, so I think it should be up to her.
Right. Alexis, is this... Are you good?
Yeah.
Right. So...
God damn it, I read that comment in Yozatsu's voice.
Ha. Oh yeah, that's right. There's people watching, but I don't ever read chat. So... This goes on and on with the trio of Inquisitors launching an absolute barrage of questions at Rosalina regarding everything from her childhood to her favorite drink. The list is quite exhaustive, and after what feels like hours, it is quite hard to tell down here since there's no sun. The Inquisitors adjourn the evaluation and order all acolytes and underlings to exit the chamber while they deliberate. So, you are standing now in one of the ruined halls outside of the chamber. I feel like this would be a good time to cut, since they could deliberate off screen.
I say we end it with what the verdict is.
That's true. That's true. Okay. So, after some hours pass, does anyone actually want to have a little chat before the verdict is read out?
Wait, go.
What?
What? Did he have anything?
Did I?
Go, White, I believe in you.
Well, that is peer pressure in me.
Oh no, stage fright.
You have to resist it. You
This
must be
is-
strong.
Actually, you could just ask whether or not Rosalita is gonna die.
Well, that isn't on his mind.
So, like, it's not just us here, right? It's like acolytes from, like, this Gustav fellow and everyone else, right?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the only acolyte that Farnov brought along was Lynn, because she's the only remaining one. And there's a few that Hunt brought along, and then there's a gaggle of people that Gustav brought along.
Do any of them stand out?
Not really. Most of Gustav's lot keeps to themselves, and they seem like the zealous types. There's a crusader there, a death cult assassin, the crazies.
Right.
Right. The inflexible ones, shall we say.
Well, I guess...
Only brought along 2, but you have well, technically, there's a bunch more.
Yeah. I guess opening up his burlap sack and eating a few more of those seeds, he'll walk over to Rosalina and say, well, that was certainly something.
Wait, walk over to who?
You.
I'm in there with them.
No. Everyone was told to go out, including you. You're out there.
Oh. I'm just gonna have my head against the wall, just like with my arm against it.
Roll willpower for me.
White's busting out the Obscura.
God damn it.
You feel the onset of a slight headache, but you will it away.
Feeling all right there.
This trial. Each one of them has the power to destroy an entire world. I am nothing but one life to them.
If that was the case, I don't think they'd be deliberating and asking you questions. They'd just be getting on with getting on.
What about you, Lynn? What would you say? What would your verdict be?
That would bring into question as to what the question is. Are you on trial? What's being decided?
Well, you heard everything. Have I committed heresy?
It's her ascension is what's being discussed.
If I was to guess, quite frankly, Rosalina, I would suspect that in lieu of your new task, they are going to have to elevate you in rank to empower you so that you can requisition the assets you need to fight such an enemy. The necessity creates the justification.
But if the necessity wasn't there?
I think you understand that your entire position is one of necessity. A necessary evil, if you so will.
Yeah. You're correct.
You, like all other Inquisitors, exist because of necessity. If there were no enemies to the Imperium, if there was no one trying to infiltrate and subvert our society, then you would not have a job.
That is true. I feel like I was just grilled by 3 principals and I'm sitting in the timeout corner.
Kinda.
Yeah, except the.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, except for that timeout corners is in the tomb of about 1 million other students.
That's true.
Million is the conservative estimate. So, in your microbead, you hear, Rosalina, please return.
Yes. And she'll push open the door.
And everyone else, actually, everyone else hears a different message telling them to bear witness.
Unfortunately, I don't get to bear witness. I have to head off and do a few things before we get ready and stuff, so I'm going to talk to you all later, but thanks so much for the session, Viggy.
It's okay. Thank you so much thank you for joining, of course.
Yep. I'll talk to you all later.
Later, Mope.
Bye-bye.
Love you.
No.
Oh.
Oh, she just left.
Love you too, Mope. Well, talk about being slammed, having your door slammed in your face. Yeah. So, as the various acolytes file back into the underground amphitheater, Rosalina, you're standing before the long table where the 2 Inquisitors are sitting and 1 is floating.
Ha.
Hunt stands up from his seat, and he looks at you with those piercing green eyes of his. The moment hangs heavy in the air before Hunt says, "But the power invested in me by the God Emperor of mankind." Hold on, there's a specific phrase that I'm looking for. Let me restart that. "In fealty to the God Emperor, our undying Lord, and by the grace of the Golden Throne, by the power invested in me by the holy orders of the Emperor's Inquisition as the right hand of He on Terra, in recognition of Inquisitors Denisio Farnov and Gustav Grimm, I grant you, Interrogator Rosalina Lockwood, the full rank of Inquisitor."
Dum dum dum.
Yay.
And with that, we will end.
It's your old 20 name. It's your old 20 name.
Alrighty, so Rosalina made it to Inquisitor. What does
Hooey.
the future hold for her? Find out next week.
Yeah.
So, with that, I want to thank everybody for staying and watching. I want to thank everybody for watching the series in general and for all of my players being awesome. As always, I'm Egoqueenalexis. I love you guys. Bye.